Well, my friends, it's now Monday, so it's time for a new podcast, and 2018 is pretty much over. We're over this year, and all the challenges we set for ourselves on the first day of 2018 should have been accomplished by this day. Has this been the case for you? Now, I see so many people sharing on Instagram and Facebook about how 2018 was the best year for them, and that's amazing. I'm sure there's also people out there who think that 2018 was a bit of a failure, and I follow that group. Now, because 2018 for me was a year where I decided to not have career goals. This year specifically, I decided that I wanted to invest a lot more effort into my private life for reasons, personal reasons, because when you become an artist and everything, you really have to put a lot of work into your career. I did that for years, but at the cost of doing some sacrifices in my private life, and I wanted to take that a little bit back, like take the control back in my private life a little bit, try to achieve some things there that would let me grow as a person. And I have to say, I kind of failed at that, although I tried very hard. So for 2018 for me was a year of failure. Now, I'm not entirely sure about why that happened, but I do want to talk about failing New Year's resolutions. I think there is one thing that is responsible for most failures in life, which is not following this principle that can make 2019 a kick-ass year for you. And the principle is very easy. It is called start before you're ready. So that's I think the only resolution you need to have in 2019 to make it like an incredible year is that start before you're ready. Use that mindset in everything. Try to embody that in your life. Like, for example, me coming to London. Like London right now, for those of you who are wondering what effect it's having on me living in this town, it's making me feel very inadequate in terms of like my skills or maybe my personality and everything, because partly I was not ready for it, but coming here feeling inadequate makes me feel like, oh my God, I need to catch up now. I need to really put in the work. So coming here made me way more motivated to like learn how to play piano seriously, for example, or how to become more social and all those things. So like when you embark yourself, or you set yourself on a path, like a dream you have, like becoming a composer, for example, and you don't feel ready because you don't have the skills, you don't have the knowledge, you don't feel like you have the experience, but you still go at it no matter what. That at that point you're gonna be forced to do the work that gets you where you want to be. So that's been my experience with music personally. The reason why I didn't learn music theory, for example, or didn't learn how to play instruments before I began to compose is exactly this. I wanted to start before I was ready, so that would put me in this position where I really have to work my ass off and I really have to figure stuff out. That gave me the drive to actually search for things on Google, which is something I highly recommend. Like, you guys sometimes ask me stuff that I'm like, why the hell should I make a tutorial about this if by typing on Google you can find find an entire website? For example, one of the questions I get asked often is, how do you understand what instruments to use where? What's the difference between viola and violins, etc.? And guys, I kid you not, when I had those questions as well when I started to compose, and what I did is I went to Google and like literally typed orchestral instruments guide. That brought me as a first result to a website called philharmonia.co.uk that has many different pages and many different videos and paragraphs about every single orchestral instrument. That explains all the instruments, all the instrument families, what they're great for, the articulations. And I soaked into my mind in the knowledge of that website for like an hour or something, completely for free. And after the hour, I had an incredible insight on how to use those orchestral instruments. So that happened because I used Google. And I used Google because I put myself in a situation where I could not use it. Like, I was like, I'm knee-deep into it now. If I don't do it, I'm gonna fail and burn, So if you start before you're ready, you trigger this response from your mind that becomes way more sharp and becomes way more active and aggressive in terms of getting where you want to be. And that is also true. Like, for example, you can start before you're ready. Maybe there's a cute girl walking down the street and you like her or something, but you're like, oh no, I didn't dress well today. Or no, I'm not used to talking with people. Just go before you're ready and try to blurt something out. I'm not saying that's gonna end up like the films where you, I don't know, summon the best words and she's the best giver. Maybe it becomes a total failure. And you say like, your number. And she's like, what the hell? And goes away. And that is going to be a bit of a failure, right? But it's going to put you in the mindset of, oh, wow, I actually did it. And maybe I can learn how to do it better next time. Let me go on whatever YouTube and look for videos on how to be charismatic, you know, and then you look at the video and you get a course and you study the course and then you keep on practicing. And next time you see a girl that you like, you go there and now you have the charisma skills. Why? Because you tried first time and that gave you the boost to actually go and learn the thing. And then now that you learn the thing, you talk to this girl and you have the charisma to do it. And boom, you got it, you know? You got the number, you got your date, whatever. You know, you started before you're ready, and that triggered a situation where you actually develop yourself into becoming ready. The trap instead is saying, hey, no, I'm actually gonna, you know, do all the steps before I actually start. And that's reasonable, you know, it makes sense to learn music theory and learn to play instruments before you're ready, before you start composing. But I mean, for some people it works best. For me, it doesn't, because my risk would be that first, I don't really understand the challenge at hand. I might, if I do that, I prepare myself before I'm ready for facing the challenge. I might not be aware of what the challenge is. I might study way more than I should, and that might fill my brain with way more knowledge, and that will probably paralyze me. And when I start to do the thing, when I start composing music, after studying all the theory, all the piano, doing all the piano scales, whatever, now whenever I compose, I might have too many subjects in my head and too many ideas on how to go best. So I'm gonna be like, oh, I should write this song, but I'm gonna write in C major using this specific diminished chord, and yeah, but I need to also use this specific rule of counterpoint, etc. But due to the fact that I've never created anything, though, I might not start with the right approach. I might be completely analytical and analyze everything, and then when it comes to doing the thing, I might be paralyzed because of all the different ways in which I could do the thing that I know I should try, and all the experience. Like, if you have that, like all the knowledge, but you've never had an impulse to actually use the knowledge to do anything, it's very likely that you might get paralysis by analysis. I'm not saying that knowing stuff before you're ready is a bad thing. Actually, music theory is amazing. You know, it's not that it is bad. I only think that it's not good to study all the things, do all the preparation before you start. Because that's a bit of a mental masturbation. Because as you're studying all the things, you feel like you're accomplishing something, but you're actually not. You're just studying and understanding the theory of things. But then when it comes to putting those concepts in practicality and stuff like that, that's a different beast right there. So the best thing you can do is to study while you're doing it. I'm not saying don't study music theory. It's not like you should probably study music theory. That's not a bad thing. But if you decide to study it, then apply it as well right away. Hey, I just studied about scales and chords and intervals and major and minor chords and diminished and augmented chords. Awesome. Then try to write a song that uses all 4 types of chords in a chord progression in a specific scale. I just studied about modulation and sus chords. Okay, then try using a sus chord to modulate in a song that you're going to write after studying about those things, you know? That's the best thing. Now, the reason why I didn't study music theory personally is, well, actually, I went and I studied the basics. So, like, scales, intervals, chords, like minor chords, augmented, diminished, whatever, sus chords. I know what those things are. I just don't use that when I compose. There's no dialogue in my mind that goes like, oh yeah, I'm going to trigger this sus chord now, so I get that. No, for me, it's like more about the ear. But the reason why I personally didn't study music theory is not that, oh, studying is bad. As you guys know, I study a lot of people's tracks by rewriting them by ear, understanding what's going on, and then making tutorials about it, which really helps me understand even more what I just studied, what I just applied. So I really studied a lot of music, and I also took like courses, like the Avalon course, which I always talk about. I talk about it because I took it back in the day when it was way less than what it is now. I did private lessons with CineSar, I did private lessons with Varian, I watched lots of tutorials on YouTube and practiced on every single thing I was told. So there was a lot of studying going on in my life, forgetting where I am in music, but that was studying that I did while practicing the things. So that's because in the way I am, I learn more by practicing stuff. And I think this is true for most humans. You learn more by practicing things rather than just reading about them. So try to put yourself in the situation where you are in the arena already. So you have no choice but to actually study and practice and learn in the spot. Otherwise, the lion is gonna bite you or something. That's my advice for 2019. Like, if you have this single resolution of always, when possible, when you're not faced with your death as a consequence of failure, always try to start before you're ready. And in 2018, like for most of my success path in my career, whatever, with the trailer music, with audio jungle, with YouTube, with my covers, with my songs in general, with the fact of becoming a composer, the start before you're ready narrative has been true. All the successes I got, all the best things that happened to me happened because I started before I was ready. This year, again, was more about my private life, so I didn't really put myself out there like that. But now in 2019, there's one thing I always talk about, guys. I talk about how I want to like write music for games and stuff like that, and that is true. I don't feel ready for it because I'm very slow at composing music. If you saw my composing live stream, you might have noticed, wow, his composing process is literally from hell. It's so tiring, so tiring and boring. Why the hell? How can you even compose by not using the keyboard? Yeah, that's the question I ask myself whenever I compose. I'm like, this is terrible. So I'm super slow. So I'm like, I'm not ready to compose video game music. It would take me too much time to actually write an entire score on my own. That actually sounds great. I can get there, but it's gonna take me lots of time. So I was like, always like, this year I was always like, you know, I'm gonna practice a bit and then I'm gonna go for it. And without realizing, I fell into the trap of not starting, you know, and waiting for the miracle before starting. So 2019 is going to be the year. Like, coming to London was already the first step to say no to this trend of not starting. Now I'm here. Now I haven't gone out and spread my name and stuff like that. I've been mostly in this room making music and practicing piano and making YouTube videos. But now I want to, since 2018 was a chill year of my private life, we're through that phase. Now I'm going to try to start before I'm ready and like put myself out there and try to get into the indie video game music soundtracks field. Just meet developers and just try to get into projects, even if I'm not ready, trying to like put myself into it so that I need to figure out how to actually do it with the skills I have right now. And we'll see how it goes, you know, and yeah, no idea what else is going to happen. Maybe I'm going to go back and write some trailer music. Who knows? Maybe I'm going to write some TV production albums. Maybe this year I'm going to get back full force into making music and making videos as well. I'm going to try to make 3 videos per week, which, by the way, I recommend you to hit the notification bell next to the subscribe button if you want to keep track of every video I make, because there's going to be many this year, I think. And this video also, I want to, like, I noticed that I started to make more and more videos for beginners. Maybe it's also, maybe it's a sign that I probably started learning less, so I had less stuff to talk about. But next year I want to cater the videos for a bit of a more advanced audience, because one thing I noticed, beginners are amazing, but I really reply to loads of the questions that I get from them. Even if like sometimes I see questions asked on YouTube about, hey, can you make a tutorial about this? And there's already 2 tutorials I made about that. So that beginner maybe didn't really look for the tutorial on YouTube. Or maybe they ask questions that can be figured out by Google. I don't want this YouTube tutorial channel to be a channel where you see videos about stuff that you could really figure out on your own by Googling. I want this YouTube tutorial channel to be about stuff that is hard to find about, right? Stuff that maybe, like how to write Bloodborne music is something you will not find out there, for example. So a bit of a more that thing. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make this YouTube channel level up. And yeah, if you want to help me through that, I highly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe notification bell and if you put a like on every single video you watch. Because when you do that, YouTube will then first let you know whenever I release new videos, because the more you engage with my videos, the more YouTube believes that you actually like my videos. So whenever I release a video, he's gonna show you that in the related videos, in the recommended for you. If you don't engage with my videos, YouTube is gonna think you don't like them. Even if you watch them, he's gonna think you don't like them, and he's not gonna show them to you. That's how the algorithm works. So first thing you can do, like my videos a lot, comment, share them, stuff like that, and hit the notification bell. Second good reason of like liking my videos and everything is that it helps this channel into growing. One thing that happened in 2018 is that the channel hit 25,000 subscribers, which has been amazing. But I really want to get to 100,000 or something. And if I get to those numbers, it's gonna force me to actually put even more and more work into my tutorials. So if you want to see my tutorials increasing quality, become better in terms of content and all those things, engage with them, share them, let this channel evolve, and this channel is going to give back to you twofold. Yeah, so that's why, you know, that's what I recommend. And yeah, also, again, whatever you choose to do in 2019, it can be anything, you know. It can be like, hey, I want to become a better composer, or actually, no, I actually want to compose a bit less and live my life a bit more. I can, you know, it can be a good thing if that's something that interests you. But whatever you do, start before you're ready and try to challenge yourself, you know. And you shouldn't mind what other people are doing or what other people are getting, because again, like sometimes people are winning while you're failing, or sometimes you might be winning while people are failing. That tells nothing about you or about them. It just means that you're living your different lives and in different areas of your lives, you know. So your challenges are not someone else's challenges, your wins are not someone else's wins, and that's okay. Just care about what you're doing, care about your goals, not what other people tell you to do. Hey, you should do that. No, just do what you feel you should do, and do it with the best of intentions, with the best of drive, and with no excuses. That's gonna be what I'm gonna try to do in 2019. Hoping I don't fail, like I failed this year in other things. But yeah, even failure, when that happens, I guess it's a lesson, you know. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just what you make of it. So yeah, I think there's gonna be a continuation of these podcasts every Monday, alternating between me talking about stuff like this and me interviewing people. If you want to see some specific person interviewed in the Creative Matters podcast, let me know in the comments as usual. And yeah, I'll see you in 2019 with tutorials, videos, music, news, vlogs, and whatever. But for now, I think I have to go, and this has been a bit of a rambling that probably you're not even watching anymore at this point. But for those of you who are watching, thank you for listening to me, and I hope this year has been great for you in terms of what you learn from this channel. So yeah, that's it for now, and I'll see you next year with new videos. Bye bye.